Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 133-97 win against the Brooklyn Nets. Ryker, the Raptors are back. They're beating a team that has Goran Dragic. You and I, probably least favorite team with the exception to the Clippers, right? We're competing with them in the play-ins. This might be the game that gets us back rolling, gets us back rocking. Our young guys are balling out. We did it without our all-star and Fred VanVleet. Sure, they didn't have Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, or Kevin Durant, but Ryker, that's only one all-star this season and all those guys, so that's nothing there. How are we feeling about this W?
You can't feel bad about this W, Ben, because Achua balled out. Malachi Flynn, the Crimson Flynn, he's back. Lots of moments of celebration this one. And the game was so lopsided in the Raptors' favor in this one, Ben. The Brooklyn fans, they were booing their own team. It was just disrespectful. They couldn't watch it anymore. You love it when that happens, especially on the road.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this is a game for the balloons. We get the balloons back, get the energy rolling, Ryker. Gotta get a little pump. You gotta get some energy going on a Saturday night or Monday night. Not a Saturday. It feels like Saturday when the Raptors are winning. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. This is what the Raptors should
weekend vibes.
But Ryker, I think it's already being brought up in the chat. We gotta get a little drum roll going for the start. Get the drum roll going, because tonight the Scottie Barnes Award. Obviously the criteria is fluid. We were debating giving it to Pascal, but it's got to go to Scottie Barnes himself, because 28 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, a block, 12 of 14 shooting, Ryker, 10 of 10 in the first half, tip-ins, shots, banged a 3. How are we feeling about our Rookie of the Year, Scottie Barnes, making that push right now?
Yeah, well, we want him to shoot more. We want him to play big ball in the lane. Raptors are big. The Nets are only big, really, in this game is Andre Drummond. And so that leaves a wide open sort of lane for Scottie Barnes to come in and gobble up every single missed shot. I think 7 of his 10 points in the field goals in the first half was literally just tip-ins, and not like pulling it down, just tipping the ball in when it's up above the rim. So uncontested shots, and you love to see it. It's funny because he's a guy who grew up playing point guard and has defaulted now, been relegated into that sort of center power forward position in the NBA. Usually it kind of goes the other way around. You keep getting smaller and smaller over time, but this guy is massive. He needs to shoot more, Ben.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And Pain Causing Samurai, back in the Super Chat, legend in the Super Chat, saying all Raptor misses are just assists to Scottie Barnes. And I like something that you brought up there, because obviously he played point guard, but he's just a hustler. And whoever's in the paint, obviously they're a bit thin on the front line down there in Brooklyn, but Scottie is just elite at creating his own shot, getting this going. And obviously, OGs, you and I are big OG fans. I got Scottie's jersey behind me, OG's right there. But with OG's injury, there's an opportunity now for Scottie Barnes to really get his game going. And even though there's been a couple losses, the Raptors have struggled, he's played well with OG going out. So it's nice that we were able to get a win, get all that stuff rocking. But Ryker, there are a lot of young players on this Raptors team to have monster performances. And I'll get the propaganda going first. I'll get the propaganda brought out first, because I love me some Precious Achua playing at this level, driving the lane, knocking down his shots, 3 threes in this one, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists from Precious, doing it all out there on the court. What'd you see from the Raptors' rising star, Precious Achua?
Ben, finally deserving of playing the propaganda.
He's always
You've been wanting to play it. You've been forcing it in all 2 games back-to-back together now of solid performances. And Ben, where did this confidence come from? Because this man was looking down in the dumps, low on energy, low on aspirations and hopes in life. And all of a sudden, he's just going out there trying to be young Kareem or young Magic Johnson. He just doesn't care. He's doing
Giannis, Ryker. The next Giannis, better than Bam. Genus
Achua Antetokounmpo, bro.
Antetokounmpo Achua. It's bad.
But seriously, Ben,
he's deserving.
Again, this isn't necessarily the matchup that's going to test a big man, because you're going up against a slow and old LaMarcus Aldridge, a slow and old Blake Griffin, a slow, not yet old Andre Drummond. Not a lot of guys to really challenge a power forward slasher that wants to put the ball on the floor. But the fact that he was doing this on the fast break, lending confidence. I'm hoping he makes it 3 games in a row after tomorrow night.
You bring up Blake Griffin. You bring up LaMarcus Aldridge. You bring up Andre Drummond. You say they're old and slow. I just hear 3 All-Stars. Precious just giving the work to 3 All-Stars. That's what I see. He's hopefully going to do it again tomorrow night, as he said. Love to see Precious doing this because he shows flashes of it. The confidence that it's obviously a little bit of a meme. We joke about the touch and all that, but he's willing to go off the dribble, drive the lane, and he's making the right takes, right? Obviously, the decision-making at the end of them are sometimes, he's learning, right? He's developing, but if that touch is going down, which obviously layups, all these NBA guys, especially when you're 6'8", 6'9", you can make a layup, right? Most of the time, it's just confidence going in. And as you said it, he's playing with a sort of flair. He waved off Desmond Bane in that Rising Stars, and that's a turning point for Precious Achiuwa's career. So that's huge. But Ryker, we would be flamed on the Facebook Raptors pages, the Raptors Nation pages, if we didn't talk about the starting point guard in this game. Malachi Flynn, the Crimson Flynn, fourth quarter Flynn or first quarter Flynn, probably is better suited for this one because he balled out starting this game. 18 points, and obviously wasn't needed, especially down the stretch. Still played 34 minutes, had the highest plus-minus of the game, plus 42, 18 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, hit 3 threes. How are we feeling about Malachi Flynn as a starter? You were out on him. I'm still holding out hope, but he played really well with Fred VanVleet out of the lineup tonight.
Yeah, Ben, I just consistently come in with takes that doesn't matter how long I have to marinate in them. As soon as I say them, they become immediately untrue. I'm here flaming this man, saying, flaming Jonesy for saying there's no such thing as garbage time. Rebuting that, saying there is garbage time because guys like Malachi Flynn will never play in the playoffs, and then he goes out and has a game like this. Achiuwa, unrelenting confidence, attacked the basket like crazy, shot the ball pretty well tonight, and I thought his transition play was really fantastic in this one too, Ben. You moved your head.
We have a new profile picture for Paul Blunt in the chat. This is wild. The alien is gone. I'm not sure what it is. It's a little bit too far. Looks like, I don't know who that looks like. Rick Grimes. Well, that's for the final alarm. But I see it, Paul Blunt. I see the rebrand. I like it. But yeah, Malachi Flynn. He's a solid facilitator, right? That's something that I brought up in the signing of DJ Wilson video I put out earlier today. But the Raptors need a few more guys that can just sort of take the ball, right? Obviously, Trent's great in the ISO scoring. Pascal, when he's going, he can score in the lane. Fred VanVleet, even though that he's been... Kevin O'Connor dropped an article saying how Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby are 2 of the worst isolation scores in the NBA for players that have taken over 100 isolations this season. So that's what the stats are saying, right? They're the least efficient. So, and Gary Trent Jr. is top 3 in the NBA. So take that stats. That could be a whole deep dive in a video itself. But you got a few isolation players on the squad, but you need more guys that can just sort of pass, facilitate, play make for your squad. And, the questions about Malachi Flynn right now have been, can he consistently make the 3? Can he get his buckets? And can he play defense? And I thought tonight he did a solid job being on the court doing those types of things. Obviously, they had a couple decent guards on the Nets. Seth Curry's there, all those guys. But Malachi Flynn, he's a very strong passer. It's meme to death with Eric Flynn talking about, but he is solid playing the pick and roll, playing off the big men. And if he can do that, Ryker, is it crazy to say that he could be our backup point guard, steal those Delano minutes or anything like that?
Yeah, because Delano played really well in this one, Ben. And here's the other thing. He should be a good defensive player because he was DPOY in the Mountain West. In last season in NCAA, so he's not coming in any scrub, even though he's undersized. The expectation is that he should be a competent, if not above average, defender in the NBA. But Ben, the next thing I want to highlight too, before I forget to mention it, was he had a couple of really good steals in this one. So I glanced at the steal category. How often do we have 17 team steals? 5 steals by Scottie Barnes, 5 steals by Gary Trent Jr., 3 steals by Pascal Siakam, 2 steals by Flynn, and a steal by Thad Young, and a steal by Banton. Like that's sloppy basketball for the Nets, but it's also we have a good defensive team. There's no two ways around that.
Yeah, it was tonight defensively. They looked like they were in a bit of a rut the past few games. Looked like they were playing in quicksand, but tonight energy was high. They wanted this win, and they came out and were able to bully the Brooklyn Nets, put them away early, and keep it going throughout the game. But Ryker, before we swing into the segments, I guess you brought up Starboy, you brought up Gary Trent Jr., 12 points. He was shooting, didn't really have his game going, but as you said, 5 assists, 5 steals, doing other things out there on the court. You called him the Raptors GOAT, and he's been kind of cold lately with Gary Trent Jr. Any quick takes on Gary Trent Jr. before we get down to the Thad Dragic talk?
Oh, nothing stuck out in this game, Ben.
Because I need an excuse to play the Thaddeus Young segment. Because tonight we had Thaddeus Young faced off against Goran Dragic for the Brooklyn Nets in this one. Dragic looked like your average sort of veteran doing his thing out there, but Thaddeus Young in the corners, splashing threes, 3 for 3 from the 3-point line, 11 points, 3 rebounds, assist, a steal, a block. Apparently he's coming close. I think before last game, he was about 18 points behind Dragic, an all-time Raptors scoring. How are we feeling about the trade after the first 1v1 matchup, the revenge Goran Dragic game?
Yeah, I was definitely expecting to come out and feel some sort of animosity towards Goran Dragic, but nothing there. It was just good to see him playing basketball, and it seemed very friendly on the court too. Like all smiles with the guys, chatting with him before, and obviously a guy from Europe, and we know what's going on there now, so you can't really hate on the guy too much. And like I said, it's just nice to see him playing basketball for a team. The fit wasn't there for the Raptors, and we went out and got the job done tonight. So I'm not happy we absolutely demolished the Brooklyn Nets either, Ben.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a positive. And speaking of the old Europeans, speaking of Ukrainians, we got some Sviji Water balling out, playing 10 minutes. It's most run he's gotten really in the last month or so. Hit a couple threes, which is great to see because he's been struggling from behind the arc. Svi was obviously a guy you were extremely high on at the start of the season. I went back and forth on him, and then obviously Nick Nurse took him out of the rotation. Is he another guy that if he starts knocking down his shots again, then he could potentially make his way back into the rotation?
Probably not, because he only played in the final. No. However many minutes he got was all at the end of the fourth, so it's against the worst version of this pretty bad Brooklyn Nets team. I wouldn't put a lot of weight in his performance tonight, Ben.
True. And we have another guy calling for minutes now, and DJ Wilson. Wilson, 6 minutes in this game and 6 points. Had a dunk.
Was worried he was going to get... He obviously went down with injury. Well, he didn't go down with injury. He did something to his knee, and he kind of hobbled off the court. Thought, that's a terrible way to start a 10-day contract when you're trying to earn time and get that full contract extended to at least bring it to the end of the season and get that payday. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, he was able to come back and play and get a dunk. So shout out to him and Svi. They connected on that one.
Yep. No, without a doubt. But Ryker, I think it's time to swing it into those segments. And tonight, the spicy P-lay of the day. Obviously, the Toronto Raptors, big W in this one. Lots of tip-ins from Scottie. Lots of different stuff. Bunch of steals. Do you have anything in mind for the old spicy P-lay of the day?
Yes, Ben. You missed the fourth because you were out playing scrimmage. If you had to have seen the fourth, you would have witnessed. And I hope you get the chance to watch this. The replay, the highlight. You'll be seeing it for a while. Yuta Watanabe. I should have had the song Junya Watanabe queued up because he went out on the fast break, Ben, and poster 2-hand, boom, off of 2 feet. And I can't even do it justice by trying to describe this play with words. But if you remember, and it's impossible to forget, when he got sent to the netherworld from a dunk on the receiving end of
in the like section.
Yes, lost in the like section of Anthony Edwards. He probably put Kessler. What is his last name? Is he in Edwards as well? He probably put Kessler
Edwards
in the leg section as well.
Is it Kessler or Carson?
No, Kessler Edwards. K. Edwards.
Jeez. Yuta Watanabe. I do have to check out that dunk. I missed that one there, but you know, the Raptors, Yuta Watanabe, he sneaky hops. He got sneaky hops. He can get in there occasionally. He's caught up a couple times, missed him, and that's the one thing that was the problem really with Yuta Watanabe last season. It felt like at the start of the year he started driving a little bit more forceful and then sort of regressed back into that form of taking weird floaters, not really going to the rim strong. He's a proper athlete. If he gets up there a little bit more, drives in, whether it's nasty dunks or, you know, finishes around the rim, he could definitely be a player. But we've talked about Yuta being the savior for the Toronto Raptors enough this season, so we'll leave that. I'm trusting Yuta. I got faith he's coming back, but not all plays. Be the spicy P lay of the day. Some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight, the OGs play of the day. The injury, you know, that's going to make you, you know, the DJ Wilson going down on the 10-day. That's something that could definitely be thrown at for the OGs. Do you have anything else in mind there, Riker?
Yeah, Ben, I like flaming stuff, particularly the studio team. Sometimes the broadcast team, but I personally, I love Jonesy. And we saw the return of Leo tonight, which was great to have him back in the booth. Spitting flames. Love that guy. But the studio team has been weak, and I criticized them last game because they were reading books and on their phone and everything. Tonight, not just the studio team, but I guess this is probably more directive from TSN coming up above. They must be low on money because every time I went to the studio team, they said there's an open spot for sponsorships, or hey, look at this box score. This would be great for sponsors. Like, it was a really tough look to see the network beg so thirstily for sponsors. It was very cringe, very OGs, Ben.
Well, hey guys, you see that screen over underneath there? There's lots of room for sponsors on this podcast.
You see that scrumptious open space, Ben?
You see that space? You made it a little bit bigger now because there's no sponsors, but you want your stuff there. Email raptorsdigest@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram where, you know, if TSN can plug it, we can call for the old sponsor. Shout out Javelin. Legendary. We got to get one of those open scrims going as well, but that's the juice. But Riker, you know what it is in a game like this. We don't really have a proper segment. The one, the only, the infamous, the Paul Pierce Golden Kazoo Award of the night for the worst play, the worst moments, the worst stuff. I saw a lot of people trashing on Pascal. Kem Birch did have 0 points. Nick Nurse kind of flamed him earlier. Siakam just doesn't look himself. Because we've seen Siakam at his highest, right, playing well, all-NBA, top 10 caliber player. We've seen him at his lowest during the bubble and during certain points during the seasons. And usually he's just missing layups, doing all that stuff. Even though he took 14 shots tonight, it felt like you didn't even notice him out there on the court. And usually, whether he's playing good or bad, you always notice Pascal Siakam. That's why he's such a polarizing player. But he's dealing with flu-like symptoms or something like that. You get the kazoo, I guess, tonight just for the performance, but he had 6 assists, though. Raptors win. Any just thoughts? Should we be worried about Pascal Siakam? Should we be worried about our kind of star guys? Because obviously when we were winning, it was Fred, Trent, Pascal, OG really carrying us, playing the load. People were flaming Nick Nurse for playing them all those minutes. They've been struggling lately, so should we be worried?
No. But it's a good point to make. He definitely didn't seem very present tonight. Yeah. I didn't really realize at all that he was playing reflecting on this game, but that could have been a testament as well to the very high of the highs of from players like Achua and Scottie Barnes who balled out again. But Ben, my golden kazoo, it's going tonight for James Johnson, ex-Raptor, starting beef with current Raptor Gary Trent Jr., getting the T for that. He was trying to instigate a fight. Lay off it. You know, your team's getting walloped. I think it was actually in the first that this all went down, but whatever. He's a bit of an instigator.
Yeah, well, he's a black belt. He is. You know, we joked earlier before the podcast. They're debating who's got the nicer neck tattoo. Riker, your take. Who's got the nicer neck tattoo? Gary Trent Jr. or James Johnson?
Neither. Don't get neck tattoos, kids.
Don't get the neck tattoo. You know, get swag.
Just get the face tattoos.
Get the Raptors Digest Maple Leaf there. We'll give you a shout out on the podcast if you get it.
Yeah, I will only give 2 exceptions to neck tattoos. 1, anything of relating to the Raptors or the Raptors Digest. 2, an elephant and just like XXX Tentacion. Those are the only two that I'll give a hall pass
fair.
for.
It's coming. The elephant's coming for Ryker right there, just at the stuff. Shout out to Tanner and Wyatt, our original
Aliases.
duo, our aliases for screamo rap back in high school. But Ryker, I think this podcast getting a bit off the rails. Apparently the what's it called? Your internet's been coming and going. I've been trying to rock it.
Oh,
out.
it's atrocious, and I'm hotspotting. That's the worst thing.
Hey, that's tough. That's tough.
Maybe I'll switch it back while you do the other
Jenny
thing.
tattoo. You gotta get that rocking. But Ryker, I think it's time to get that alarm rocking.
All right, you do that while I switch Wi-Fi.
Woo 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 woo. Beep 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 beep. Woo 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 woo. Beep 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 beep. That's right. The final alarm has sounded. Ryker lags. All I hear is XXX. I don't know if that's an XXX Tentacion meme or if it's just.
I don't know. On my back, I switched Wi-Fi's completely.
I like it. You're on the screen. You're popping up. So I think things are good, but I don't know. People are flaming your Wi-Fi. I haven't had Wi-Fi. I've been going to work in the office, and it's been a mess. It's been a mess. Not then there. You're waving there. You're getting that rocking, but as they're saying, it looks like you got the sleeve. You're a sleeve tattoo guy. No sleeves. You gotta get closer. It's you gotta show them the leg sleeve though. Break out the leg sleeve on the internet, sir.
Yeah, I do have a leg sleeve. they called me out accurately.
Not wrong. That's I don't know if people can hear you or because the chat's kind of flaming right now. Kazoo equals Riker's Wi-Fi, but Riker shouldn't have bought his internet from Goran Dragic. Bad move.
Test. Well, I don't know. Is the audio coming? There's nothing we can do at this point. Everybody's well aware of my audio issues. And shout out Ramadan Mahar or whatever his name was trying to help me out here.
Morris guy saying, why is he waving in slow-mo? You just got that skill. You know what I mean? You can switch it into slow-mo. That's jokes. We forgot to call for a leg spike. As is tradition with the final alarm. Bueno Kitty's calling for a leg spike sleeve. So just key. Okay, apparently the audio's fine, which is all we care about. That's all we care about. Especially
well, I care about the visual too, but it's a losing battle.
It's a losing battle. We fight hard for this stuff, folks. We try. I got towers being built around my house. But Paul Blunt's calling for a Jenny neck tattoo, Riker.
It's that song by Beck. It's called Deborah. And it's like I like your sister. Wait, I'll remember it. And then I'll sing a little clip.
Your sister.
I think her name is Jenny.
Okay.
Oh. All right, you keep it on. I'll find the lyrics real quick.
You gotta get a little singing sesh going. Yeah, that's what we need. But Riker doing his Gary Trent Jr. Interview impression. Audio not really fine. That's tough. Scooby Doo is calling yo my hoodie. I'm confident. We're getting the hoodie going. Josh has got to pull that up. We gotta send out those updates. But sit Fred Pascal for the next 10 games. They are exhausted. About time. Coming in with the hot takes. What are your thoughts?
Hit me with that thought again.
Sit Fred and Pascal for the next 10 games.
10 games.
Yeah,
that's an arbitrary number.
It's pretty round. Raptors legend.
Well, listen, we're a game and a half behind Boston, so whatever it takes to catch up to them in the standings and keep Brooklyn at bay, then we'll get out of the play-ins, and then you can rest whoever you need.
That's true. But no, J-Lo's Jenny from the block on your net. That's what Bueno Kitty's saying. That could be cool. That could be a cool look. People are saying send a tweet. 996068927 is saying send a tweet to Elon Musk. Give us the Starlink internet.
Shout out. It's supposed to help the streaming ability in rural areas, rural Ontario. So Shout out that.
Shout out to Elon Musk there.
Oh, Ben. You might not have noticed in this game, but I took particular attention to one of my favorite fans that I've ever witnessed. You know, home game for Brooklyn. You'd expect most of the fans, especially those courtside ones, would probably be there to support the home team, right? They're obviously locals. You usually don't pay for courtside for a road game. Ben, there was a guy. He was sitting close, probably with his family. He was probably the kid, and he had a lime green hat on, neon. You could see it very easily. And everything the Raptors did, this man was so hyped. Scottie Barnes got a crazy block, and he was up going, no. Somebody made 3, and he was putting up, I don't even know what that is, the trigger finger or whatever on the court. Like, he was the ultimate hype man, and just a random fan sitting courtside. I loved it.
That's the juice. The Raptors fans are everywhere, especially in Brooklyn, because Brooklyn's got the hell of fans. But Ryker, we have a super chat coming in from Paul Blunt. Paul Blunt, you got to tell us what the new profile picture is. But I met you. I met you at JCPenney. I think your name tag.
The name tag. It said Jenny. I couldn't step to you with a fresh bag of gum. Somehow I knew you were looking for someone. That's it.
I'm getting the flames on. I'm getting the flames on for the fire tunes.
I think her name was Deborah. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. If you've never listened to the song Deborah by Beck before, you're doing yourself a disservice. I recommend listening to it. It's not meant to be taken seriously.
I think it's meant to be taken seriously.
Unlike this Raptors game tonight, which is meant to be taken very seriously. Whenever you beat somebody by almost 40 points and you get to play your scrubs for at least 10 minutes in the fourth, that's a W, Ben.
Yeah, that's a big W. But 1-800-Lunatic saying he's got Starlink at his farm. Not good enough to stream. That's tough. We're calling for segments. Oh, Ben. Precious dapped him up. Yeah, Precious dapped up the fan. You love to see that. But the Raptors, they're rocking. And Paul Blunt, he's laughing at the singing. He's not telling us what the profile picture is. We got to give a shout out there. But Ryker sounded like Jack Armstrong during the Raps game. Shout out the. They haven't been saying "Living on a Prayer" in a while. Remember when the Raptors just sucked, and then Matty D and Jack Armstrong would just sing "Living on a Prayer" for every single game.
It's great because that's probably why Leo got canned, because Matt and Jack would sing, and whenever Matt wanted Leo to start singing with him, he would refuse. It's only people that are willing to get vocal on the broadcast that I get to keep their contracts, I guess.
Will Alvin Williams sing this season? Over under, Ryker. Josh is our betting guy, but
he's getting replaced by Jonesy, which is a great pick, honestly. Jonesy, he has references on references. I think he just studies little quips to say during the games. Tonight, my favorite one was he said, the Brooklyn Nets are starting a bakery with the amount of turnovers they've made this game.
That's 10 out of 10. That's Jonesy got the quips. He's a W. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't pick him, because he's been doing the radio for a while, right? He's got the experience. He's got all that stuff rocking, right? I don't know. Not to flame Alvin Williams, but Jonesy's got the cred, right? He's been there. He's put in the work. He's been doing the the pre-games and post-games in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was in line. I don't know how long Alvin Williams has been doing the stuff with the Raptors, but we do have a super chat or a channel member. I don't know what it's called, but super chat renewal from Tom Duke, the legend. We are on a new win streak. Come on, we are streaking. We're streaking. 1-game win streak. It's happening. Man. Break out the big scarf, Tom Duke. I apologize. I lost this week in fantasy. I needed to get this win to help Tom Duke into playoffs, and I lost by like 5 points. I've been trying to keep my team together because for the playoffs, I don't want to cut any guys. I think I got a nice little squad, so it's unfortunate. I'm worried about streaming right now. Playoffs are this week. But we have another, so shout out to Tom Duke. Becoming a member for 5 months, using that super chat for the channel members. Everyone join the channel memberships. We gotta get a lot more stuff rocking on that. And then Thal Moss saying we need a javelin karaoke night. Riker's silky voice. Silky voice or milky voice, Thalmos?
I'm going home.
Going home. Singing to the milk. It's going. People are agreeing with the Jonesies. Jonesy take.
Ben. We're probably towards the end of it here now. We're at that 30-minute clean mark. And before you start putting too many strange animations on me while I try to, have an intelligent conversation here.
Oh, yeah.
How I despise that butter animation.
It's milky,
That's how
bro.
it started. It's butter.
It's milky, bro.
It might be time to start wrapping this bad boy up.
Yeah. And Tom Duke, he's calling me a bum. I apologize. I can't drop Duarte. I think he's going to ball out the last couple of weeks of the season. I know he's injured, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I gotta figure out my stuff. But Ben, hey, did you play the Young Socialite animation for the Young Socialite sitting tonight? Who had better drip tonight, Riker? Ben Simmons or Starboy Gary Trent Jr.? So the Socialite or the Starboy?
Well, Ben Simmons, he had on a collar, like a polo, and then like a sweater vest, basically, or like a crew neck. It was very white, very white.
Milky white, sir?
It was pretty lame. I like the drip, but it was, when you make $100 million, you can probably put a little bit more flair into it. But it doesn't get any worse than Jared Allen at the All-Star game. Did you see his khakis and grace? Well, I think I've worn that 100 million times in high school.
That's style, bro. That's the fit. I don't know why.
My net worth was negative monies in high school, so
yo, people shouldn't be flaming old Jared Allen. But yeah, this is a wild pod. It's a W pod for the Raptors, W pod or W game for the Raptors, W pod for the Raptors Digest. We play Brooklyn Nets again tomorrow, so that's what you like to see. Hopefully we can get another W, create that cushion on the Brooklyn Nets. So it's about time. Said give Fred and Siakam a 10-game rest week. But Jared Allen with the Walmart drip. The Walmart hat is gone. It's dead. People that were saying tank, and Tom Duke's throwing tanks in the chat. I don't know if he's talking to us or talking to my fantasy team or talking about the Raptors. But the tanks are over. People were sad. We're bounced back. We're getting some W's. But you guys are the best for making it this far. Check out the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok, all that cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff coming, Riker. Do you have any last words on this Toronto Raptors W against the Brooklyn Nets?
As the builders say, the larger stones do not lie well without the lesser. Cheers.